Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. This past week was San Diego Comic-Con, and while it was really radio silent when it comes to Cartoon Network, there was one little announcement, if you will, regarding a Cartoon Network franchise, and that is Ben 10. And no, this announcement that I'm referring to is not the 6th iteration of Ben 10 that we've all been highly anticipating. It is that Ben 10 is going to return in the form of a comic book series coming next year. There's really no details known about this comic book series, whether it be just like some stories taking place within the original series or whether it be a continuation after Omniverse. We really have no idea. If I had to venture to guess, I would say that it's most likely going to be some tales that are within the original series that we just never saw on screen, but that's neither here nor there. What I wanted to talk about today regarding this announcement is just what exactly is happening with Ben 10. Why is it that they're announcing a comic book series at Comic-Con as opposed to announcing the next iteration of Ben 10, which is what we've all been highly anticipating and expecting to come for quite some time now? You know, the reboot ended back in 2021. We're well into 2024 at this point. We're getting into the tail end of this year, and yeah, there's still no announcement for Ben 10, and I'm just kind of wondering what exactly is going on at this point. We've discussed at length in other videos what my theory is for what's happening regarding the 6th iteration of Ben 10. For those of you who haven't seen those videos, basically the next iteration of Ben 10 was supposed to be announced by the end of 2021. This is all coming from Duncan Rolu. Obviously that announcement never happened, and we still haven't heard anything regarding the 6th iteration of Ben 10. Then fast forward to last year, I believe in like the springtime, Jason DeMarco, who is the, senior vice president, he's in charge of the action and anime department at Cartoon Network, said they're working on multiple iterations of Ben 10, multiple ideas, but he doesn't know if any of them are going to go anywhere. And essentially what we can gather from this is that Duncan Rolu and Man of Action were working on a 6th iteration of Ben 10 that was canceled by Cartoon Network, and now there's a different crew working on a brand new iteration of Ben 10 that we don't know what exactly is going to happen with it. We don't know if it's even going to come out at all, but it's just so disappointing to me to see this headline that Ben 10 is coming back, because that's the headline I saw. I saw it all over the place. I saw it on Reddit. I saw it on Twitter. I saw it trending. I'm like, oh, Ben 10. I'm like, oh man, did they finally announce the next iteration of Ben 10? And the answer is no. They announced the comic book series. Now, of course, as I said before, we don't know what this comic book series is about. I'm personally not one that gets super into these comic book series from Cartoon Network franchise. Like I used to read the Adventure Time comic book series back in the day. I used to read the regular show one as well. If this Ben 10 one is something big to the extent of, it's continuing Omniverse, or it's making a new iteration of Ben 10 after Omniverse just in comic book form, I'd probably check it out then. If they're going to introduce new aliens and whatnot, I would probably check it out. But if it's just going to be some side stories within the original series, then it really isn't of interest to me, because the big thing that I want to see is what's next in Ben's story. I think that's the big thing that most fans want to see. Like, I know a lot of people are happy to see that Ben 10 is coming back in the form of a comic book series, but I just don't understand why this is the announcement we're getting, why we're not getting the announcement for the 6th iteration of Ben 10. What happened to this 6th series? Where is it? And I just feel like with Cartoon Network, I've complained about this for, at this point, we're going to be going on almost a decade, where I've been complaining about the fact that they're not transparent with their fans. They really leave us high and dry when it comes to what's going on with our beloved franchises, and this case in particular, honestly, is one of the worst that I can remember them doing with any franchise, right? Obviously, The Amazing World of Gumball, the way they've been handling that over the past, 5 years hasn't exactly been great. That's up there as well. But this is Ben 10. This is your highest grossing franchise to come out of Cartoon Network Studios. It's the franchise that's made you the most money. It's your biggest IP. And the fact of the matter is, it's been missing for over 3 years. You haven't said a single word about what's going on with the franchise. The only little inklings we've gotten about it are coming from Duncan Rolu, who's not talking about it anymore because he's probably gotten in trouble for speaking about it because they're all under NDAs and they're not supposed to discuss what's going on behind the scenes. And then Jason DeMarco spoke about it last year, again under NDAs, not supposed to talk about what's going on behind the scenes, so then he quickly deleted that tweet. Those instances are literally the only trails we have regarding a 6th iteration of Ben 10. Otherwise, if those two people didn't come out and say something, I'd be sitting here saying, did Ben 10 get canceled as a franchise? Is it not coming back? Because no one said anything about it. And again, this is just a shame to be seeing. This is not the way to treat any of your brands, especially your biggest property you've ever created. And I've said this before, it's been missing for 3 years with the reboot ending, right? But for someone like me, for someone like you, who's a fan of the original continuity, Ben 10 has been missing for a decade at this point. It ended back in 2014, Ben 10 Omniverse, that is, and this fall will be the 10-year anniversary of the conclusion of that series. series. So it's been a whopping 10 years since I've had a Ben 10 series that I've enjoyed. And I know people like the reboot. I'm not saying no one did, but I feel like for the majority of fans of Ben 10, of the original continuity, it really wasn't something that was meant for us. And while you could have still enjoyed it, I watched season 1, I watched the movie, I watched all of season 5. Obviously, as you guys know from the videos I've made on this channel, I am not a fan of it, but it's okay if you are. My point being is we haven't had a serious iteration of Ben 10 since 2014 when Omniverse ended. It's been 10 years, and I really would hope that Cartoon Network would say something. It's funny because at the beginning of every year, I'm like, okay, is this the year we're finally going to get an announcement for Ben 10? The more days that pass, the closer we are to an announcement, right? It's inevitable they're going to announce something regarding Ben 10. They're working on something we know. They're not going to never make another Ben 10 again because it's too big for them not to continue the franchise. So we are getting closer to an announcement every day that passes. But at the same time, it's like, how long are you going to make us wait for this next iteration of Ben 10? We've been waiting for 3 years already. You haven't said a single word about it. I've said in other videos, next year is going to be the 20-year anniversary since the original Ben 10 premiered. I would hope we get something for that. Ideally, I would hope that we would get the new series next year. It would premiere in time for the 20th anniversary, but at this point, I don't know if that's even gonna happen. I'm just hoping that they announce the next iteration in time for the 20th anniversary, because I really am thinking that the next iteration of Ben 10 might not be coming till 2026 or 2027 at this point, because if you had to ask me a few years ago when will the 6th series of Ben 10 premiere, I would have told you probably 2023. If not 2023, then 2024, and here we are approaching the tail end of 2024, and we have heard nothing regarding it from Cartoon Network. So I'm assuming at this point, if we get an announcement next year, which fingers crossed we do, I would imagine at some point they have to announce it. Like I said before, the more days that pass, the closer we're getting to the announcement. So if they announce it next year in 2025, my guess is it's not coming until 2026 or 2027, which is crazy because that would be 10 years after the reboot premiered, which would be insane because at that point we would have a 6 or 7 year hiatus since the reboot ended between that and whatever this 6th iteration ends up being. Anyways, for now, all we have regarding Ben 10 news-wise is that there is a comic book series coming, and it's coming next year in 2025. Hopefully, like I said before, we get an announcement for a new series sometime next year, or even, hey, if you want to shock me, announce something this fall. Listen to Warner Brothers Discovery. I'd be happy to hear something this year, trust me. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all of this. What do you guys think about the new Ben 10 comic book series that was announced at Comic-Con? Are you disappointed like me to see that this is the Ben 10 announcement that we got? No, not the 6th iteration of Ben 10, but a comic book series instead. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.